fun practicing, which is a little strange to me in training camp.
We'll keep score and everything. Everything is scored all day long today.
Talk to us a little bit about hawk tackling and what you guys are doing. How you guys are teaching your defensive players to tackle.
I think, Darren, the thing we should mention about this is about the strike zone. For us, we've created a strike zone that our guys understand. You know, it's below the neck, so the neck and head is off limits, and really above the knees too, just like a baseball strike zone. So that when we have getting those opportunities where you could make a hit that could be questionable, we're really trying to zero in on it. We practice it. We talk about it a lot. Those defenseless guys, we really have to be accurate about our placement of the contact. But the tackling thing, you know, we're really trying to. We have totally been committed to getting the head out of tackling.
Great catch, Buck.
Hey, y'all see that catch?
What are some of the things that you look for in a Seattle Seahawk?
Well, we're looking for gritty guys. You know, we're looking for guys that have great passion. First of all, guys that are resilient, can bounce back, that have a mindfulness that they want to prove something. And that's why, you know, we talk. A lot of our guys feel like they got a chip on their shoulder. Well, I feel the same way. And there's a bunch of us here that kind of have that, share that mentality. It's that you always have something to prove, and it doesn't matter what you're up against, and you're not going to care about what the obstacles are. That's really kind of defines grit, and that's we found that grit is one of the great indicators of people that succeed, and so that's what we're looking for.
He worked so hard this summer with me.
It ain't really about beating somebody. It's about you doing the best you can possibly do.
Seahawks on three. 1, 2, 3. Seahawks.
Wow, that was just a bit of the Seahawks special at training camp on ESPN yesterday. Here's a streak that the Seahawks would like to break. Look at what the last 8 Super Bowl champs have done the following season. 4 have failed to make it back to the playoffs, and the other 4 were one and done in the postseason. The last time they won a playoff game the year after the Super Bowl, the last team to do that was the 2005 Patriots. All right, so we're talking about this. Obviously, we're talking about the Seahawks. What do you expect from them, Skip?
I watched that piece yesterday, and my first thought was, just call the season off. It's over. They're going to And then I reflected back on what Michael Robinson said on the show when we were in L.A. a couple of weeks back, and he's now the new ex-Seahawk now, but a former team leader. The obvious talent losses were Golden Tate and Walter Thurman, but Michael made a very powerful point that the losses of Red Bryant and Chris Clemens out of the defensive line, and especially out of the locker room, will long-term hurt this team in maybe in the playoffs, because he wouldn't even go so far as to say they would get back to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to lean in that direction. I know it's early, but I will say they will struggle just leadership-wise, and they will not win the championship game. They will not get back to the Super Bowl.
Wow, that's
that blew your hair back, didn't it?
No, you know what? It didn't.
No.
One of the things about when you're hungry and you're starving and you'll do anything to get something to eat, but when you finally grab something to eat, you don't quite go after it the way that you once did. And I'm not saying that they're not even talking about that, because they probably have been.
Yeah.
They probably have been talking about not letting up. They probably have been talking about all the things that we did last year to get to the point of winning the Super Bowl. And I'm talking about that chip that they had on their shoulder. They played with such a chip, like everybody, and we all use it at some point, the disrespectful card, and I've used it at different times. They used it to the utmost because they won the championship.
Yep.
You lose all the guys that you just talked about, Chris Clemens, especially Thurman. You lose those guys. You have a running back who's the feature of your offense, in my opinion. Not sleeping on Russell Wilson and what he does, because he's definitely a up-and-coming, good quarterback and does a great job of making right decisions. But that offense, in my opinion, is driven by that running attack. And when you have a guy that's holding out, the likelihood of, and I hope he does not, but we've seen it before, when guys hold out, injuries then ensue going forward.
That's true.
So you have so many things up in the air, and I do agree with the loss of Tate as far as the mentality side, or from the receivers on that side of the ball. I still think that this team is deep enough. I think that they've done a good job of the competition in practice. When I watched that tape yesterday, it was different for me. I know you said, strap them up. Yeah. I said, boy, I missed that game. That's what I miss about it. I missed that competition that you saw yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what you miss. because I saw those guys getting after it, but you saw the offensive line going one-on-one with the defensive line, and they weren't finishing one another. You may have him beat, but I'm not going to finish him and hurt him. But they were getting after one another. That's what you miss as a player. So you see that intensity still there. You see all those things. So I still think that they'll make the playoffs. They'll make a deep run. I don't see them getting back to the Super Bowl, though.
Pete Carroll did a great coaching job last year. It's going to have to be double that this year. There was a stat that came out that I didn't know. They had 0 helmet-to-helmet penalties last year.
Strike zone.
Yeah. You know how hard it is to teach a guy to do that, then they go out there and execute that in this day and age in the NFL. 0 helmet-to-helmet penalties. That kind of coaching, to me, is going to be paramount for this team because you look at their schedule. Out of their last 7 games, they have Kansas City, Arizona, San Francisco, Philadelphia, San Francisco, at Arizona before they finish in St. Louis. Whatever leadership they don't have, they better have it for that final part of the season because the early part's not going to be easy either. You got Green Bay, San Diego, Denver. The bye week, they'll win that. But their first 3 games, they're going to have to deal with that. That leadership and that coaching, I think, is going to have to be paramount more than ever it was last year because whatever motivational carrot he has to use to keep them hungry, the players have to buy in, especially now they've been well-fed winning a Super Bowl championship.
Bayless, your final take.
To your point, I think Arizona is going to be very good.
I agree.
And I think St. Louis is going to be very dangerous.
But
so
no bowl game for the Seahawks.
I don't think they get a Super Bowl either.
No bowl.
No bowl.
But I reserve the right to change.
Well, no.
That's right. I'm reserving that right, too.
We haven't even seen one preseason game.